Hey guys, it's day 8, our last day of our 8 days of Christmas.
It's the moment you've been waiting for,
Our top 5 indie games of 2014.
Roger. Okay. Straight down. Tango down. Roger. Tango down. Straight down.
Door Kickers is a challenging top-down tactics game that you can play for a few minutes or a few hours at a time. The game is presented well enough to feel like a real SWAT raid, and the body traces that fallen enemies leave behind are a neat stylistic touch. However, there isn't much of a story, and what really makes Door Kickers is its gameplay. Its missions are quick but difficult, needing multiple attempts to crack, setting up a dynamic of constantly honing your strategy in a Rainbow Six-like planning mode, which is an engrossing and rewarding task in and of itself. The game's difficulty arises not from the controls, your character moves precisely where you guide them, but rather the variety of mission types, the random locations of hostile units and how the compact maps are composed. And the deployment strategy allows you to tinker with the classes, positions and loadouts of your squad for further strategy. Some may try to denigrate Door Kickers by calling it a mobile game on PC, but the truth behind any such assumptions is that it's a game of simple yet well-conceived tactics.
For soldiers, war is about victory. For us, it was about getting food.
This War of Mine has become known for its honest and brutal commentary on war, but what should also be remembered is that the messages this War of Mine has been able to deliver stem from its experience. The messy charcoal art contrasted by the harsh white light and the character animations that changes characters' attire immediately steeps the game in a uniquely harrowing atmosphere. You can establish the perfect strategy that nets you food, water and all other essentials, but eventually it will come undone because of the unpredictability of war. You may be forced into making horrible decisions like stealing from the old and vulnerable to stay alive, and in the night time you'll have to risk your survivors for vital resources. But no matter how much empathy or sorrow you feel for your civilians, this War of Mine's side-on perspective constantly reminds the player that they are merely observing from a screen and have not truly experienced the horrors of war. This War of Mine is a grueling and powerful game about war, which I've rarely experienced in games or so profoundly in other mediums, and that has me excited about the future of video games.
Free from the shackles of a publisher, Larian Studios got to finally make the Divinity game they always wanted their more than a decade-old series to have with Original Sin. It's a classic CRPG like those of the 90s and the best new CRPG in quite a while. There's no hand-holding with practically all learning up to the player. All character classes are viable and can be used alternatively to overcome the same problem, something that other RPGs fail to do. From the start you control 2 heroes, one of which a friend can take over in co-op. And whether it is an AI companion or a friend, all disputes with your party are extraordinarily and quickly resolved with rock, paper, scissors. The writing and plot are mostly light-hearted and genuinely funny, even if a little ridiculous. And perhaps best of all are the turn-based battles. They can last a while, but have so much depth because of all the environmental variables, such as puddles of blood that can be zapped to electrocute foes, or blizzards that can freeze wet enemies. Divinity Original Sin is one of the best games of 2014. And with the recent news that Larian Studios are making 2 new CRPGs, the awesome news appears set to continue.
I always thought it's hard to make new friends, but making enemies,
Transistor took a lot of cues from Bastion, then built on them and carved out its own style. Its planning mode provided a greater challenge by demanding careful thinking, and all the possible combinations of functions delivered greater depth and variety. Logan Cunningham lent his voice once more, but as a companion rather than an omnipresent narrator. The art retained its classical anime style and added in some miraculous cutscenes. The story is brilliant, even if a little more cryptic, and is again capped off with a memorable finale. And the music is similarly fantastic, with an electronic rock core that complements the cyberpunk themes. And small details highly present throughout the game, such as the music tracks changing to a quietened alternative version with red synthing during the planning mode, make Transistor the polished package that's so easy to fall in love with. I jumped into New Game Plus straight after my first playthrough, and I honestly can't recommend Transistor enough.
A true retro dream. Shovel Knight has the platforming of Mega Man, the sub-weapons of Castlevania, and the combat of DuckTales and many other 8-bit influences. But Shovel Knight is not a mere mashup of NES titles, it is a memory of the NES era refined with a perspective of 25 years. It takes inspiration from only the best games, puts in checkpoints and leaves out password saves. It also still manages to be very much its own game thanks to its wonderful colours, character art and epic chiptune music. Shovel Knight is the ultimate nostalgia trip for anyone who played games in the 80s and a chance for younger generations to see what they missed out on. We fall very much into the latter category, and the fact that we've played and enjoyed Shovel Knight so much is a testament to just how well the ideas of the past still hold up in today's very different gaming landscape. That's it guys, we hope you enjoyed our top 5 indie games of the year and that you're not too mad if we left out any of your favourites.
We'll be back next year with all our regular coverage of indie games plus a whole lot more.
Until then, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time here on Indieformer. It's the moment you've been waiting for, our top 5 indie games of the 2014.
Turn down for what?